Hey everyone, welcome to the Curious Girl Diaries podcast. I'm Layla London, aka The Curious Girl. Now, just to let you know, this podcast is not suitable for work. It's also not suitable for anybody under 18. But the rest of you consenting adults, let's get ready to talk about my sex life, sex in general, and everything in between in explicit, raunchy, fun detail. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is the sexual road trip. It's about day 220 review. So I missed the halfway mark, which I think would have been March 1st. But truthfully, I was sort of in another little down cycle. I seem to go into those every 90 days. I just get kind of burnt out. I don't know what it is. It happened around the end of December, and I just kind of tuned out and took the last 2 weeks off and didn't do anything to move forward any of the potentials or see anybody, and also stayed no flirting, no reaching out to new guys, no online stuff. Anyhow, I kind of just hit another one of those, and again, it's really interesting how much work this is taking. I'm surprised. I didn't even realize when I started this back in September that I'd feel this way, that this would be so much fucking work. So much fucking work to fuck. It really kind of blows me away a little bit, but still, that's that's it's truth. It's a swear to God truth. Okay, so let's look at kind of where everything's at. So, let's see. The good news is I have managed to finally, took about 6 months. It's kind of amazing, of sort of churning and burning through some guys, to get kind of a good sort of group, or, get the friends with benefits things going, get that established. For whatever reason, just didn't happen right out of the gate. There were relationships that were sort of ongoing for several months, and then they kind of peter out. I'll be interested to see with the friends with benefits that I have right now, how that goes. I was talking to a good friend of mine who he would sort of be like my male counterpart, I guess, if you would say. And he says that, it's surprising to him how these friends with benefits people kind of, come and go. They don't stay long term, which is interesting because I had, a friends with benefits guy that was in my life, when we were both available, from, gosh, probably 27 to, just up until recently. I think I might have podcasted about that, where I went and saw him, and we got together again, and the chemistry just totally changed for me. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. But anyway, and then there's another guy too that I have that with, that, it's in that same thing. I tend to be the kind of girl that I never really part on bad ways with guys. It's always sort of, there's a lot of ongoing stuff from my 20s, that just kind of off and on, and it's interesting, but I don't know why that is, but there's two or three guys that, fit that mold. But the friends with benefits that I have now, I mean, the ones that are, now they're newer, and I'm curious to see, if that's going to have any staying power, or if, like my friend was saying, if this sort of peters out in a few months. He was going through hey, I don't talk to her anymore. They just kind of come and go. And I'm really looking for longevity. But, maybe that's unrealistic. I think it's realistic. That's the intention that I have set, but, time will tell. So, so let's see. There's been, there has been a sort of a shift on my end. I've definitely gotten more, I don't know if cutthroat's the word to use, just definitely more business minded about this project, if you will, because I've had, you know, uh, I talk to a lot of guys. It takes a lot of talking to little messages, blah, 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 you know, to finally kind of whittle it down to somebody that you like, to say, hey, this guy's interesting and I could see myself getting naked with him. And there's a lot of guys that want to just sort of either fast track that process, push that process. And I'm fast about it, but you're not just going to, send me a couple texts and then, oh, hey, by the way, we should be meeting this week and, and let's do, let's do this or let's do that. I don't even know if I fucking like you. Let's just slow your roll there a little bit. We haven't met face to face. I'm not doing any more ugly fucking. I'll tell you what, that just taught me a lesson, a big lesson. I am not, oh geez, sorry, my phone's going off here. I am not letting that happen again. I mean, that really made impression on me. Thank goodness, because you don't have to teach me but once. I'll tell you, I pick it up fast. So that won't happen. And I'm way more protected and I'm way more blunt about like, hey, listen, I've seen one, a couple pictures of you and I don't know that I like you. We still have to determine that. So I try to get that, again, I sort of put up that and then, hopefully I hope a lot of guys will self-eliminate, just on their own so they do the work for me, right? They can just sort of, scratch themselves off the list and then I can really deal with, the good guys that are there and then, figure out, okay, is this, do we have any sexual chemistry or not? And let's see, what else has been going on? Oh my gosh. Well, I have a couple, let's see. I'm always doing something funny with my vagina, it seems like. As you know, I've tightened it, got it laser tightened. Which I think is good. I'm actually like looking for another Groupon because to go do it again. It doesn't loosen up, but it just, I'm like, hey, maybe we can go tighter with that. But it's kind of expensive to do. I could just pay for it, but I'm like, well, shit, now that I've gotten the Groupon and I've hunted for that, I'll wait for another one. But so my next new goofy vagina thing is that I bought some lightning cream, private part lightning cream, I think is what they call it. I've been noticing on Tumblr. By the way, I'm, sort of quasi new to Tumblr. Jesus. That is, wow. I'm just late to the game on everything. I swear. I have been literally in my own little world. So now, it's like Tumblr. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. So I get to, pin all these or, reblog all these interesting, sexy photos. And, if you really want to know what's going on in my head, like what, stuff is turning me on and what I'm thinking about and the kind of sex I'd like to have, you go to my Tumblr, and take a look at that. You can link to it from the website here, but so basically anything that I find sexy in any way remotely, and it can be a picture of a girl, I'd be like, damn, that's a beautiful woman. It's a sexy picture. If there's anything remotely that I like about it, boom, I just reblog it. So it doesn't mean I'm not bisexual. It's just, I can appreciate, a good looking woman, but a lot of the stuff is, predominantly it's more, just the type of sex, the way it's being done, performed, something about, someone's being spanked or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's sexy. Oh yeah. I remember that feeling or whatever, so I put it on there. So back to, I know I just totally got off on a side thing. I don't know this. I tell you what, this is going to be probably this will be the most confusing, fucked up, ill-prepared blogs or podcasts that I've done, because this morning I'm just not, like, my head's not clear, but I wanted to get this done because I'm getting farther and farther out of the midway point. But back to the bleaching, the vagina bleaching. So, well, and the reason I was talking about Tumblr is I'm noticing, like, these women, like, their parts are like pink. Everything is pink, pink, pink. And I don't have anything that's dark because I'm Caucasian. But I'm looking at that, I'm like, well, that just looks like a pink little rosy asshole, and well, that's interesting. Well, I started doing some research, and apparently women bleach those areas. They bleach their buttholes, they bleach their vaginas, the skin around it, the labia, all that. And I'm like, hey, it looks pretty good. So me being one who I am experimenting. I'll take one for the team here. I'm going to do this and I'll report back about, how it lightens up the skin. Hey, Michael Jackson did it on his whole body. So I could probably just slap it on a couple parts here and see what happens. So that's the next goofy thing that I'm up to with my vagina. There's always got to be something that I'm doing to it. The next kind of goofy little thing is, I realized my fucking sex toys are like ancient. I have to do a complete overhaul. And, I finally like pulled open that drawer in the closet and I'm like looking through everything going, this is crazy. I mean, I still have lube from, probably 10 years ago. Yeah, at least. And I think that's probably the last time I bought toys, refreshed the toys. So, I've, got these same old bullets and these same old dildos and, all whatever else I've got in there. And they're just like, a lot of them, the wires have gotten kinked. I mean, it's a big graveyard of sex toys in there, and they're all just mangled. And I'm like, okay, time to refresh this. And a lot of course, now everything's sort of like, there's no more cords with a little, seems like there's no more, the stuff I'm looking at online right now, there's no cords anymore, which is fabulous because those just get kinked and get ruined. And, that what's the point in that anyway? And then it's just, and a lot of the stuff is more quiet now too, because the bullet that I have, it buzzes and I'd like it to be quiet. And apparently there's ones that are more quiet now. So I'm going to reinvest in some more, like I tell the ladies, I'm like on them about their lingerie, I'm like, okay, I'm outing myself on my ratty old sex toys. It's like, it's the equivalent of granny panties. I got to get rid of this. This is shameful. So I'm going to be updating all that stuff, which will be exciting. That means I'm going to be probably locked in my bedroom for a couple days, just masturbating the hell out of myself, test driving everything. Because you don't want to show up, but you don't want to like you don't want to bust one of those suckers out untested, and try to use it in an actual sex act with somebody, because it could be good or not. And then, and then you're fucked. So anyway, that's it on the sex toy. So that's like, those are all the things kind of going on with my as related to my vagina. Let's see. The next thing that's still kind of weighing on my mind here, and as I'm going along and kind of finding more new things that I like, things that are turning me on, there's more doors opening. I mentioned, like that rape fantasy, and certainly I would love to just act that out. And it's more about, obviously it's more about like, that's why I like bigger, taller guys. I mean, I like a stronger guy, that kind of turns me on in general anyway. And, naturally, if you take that a few steps farther, somebody kind of manhandling you or, um, sort of I don't want to say forcing you, but, I guess that's what would be happening in the actual role playing of that scenario. That's kind of sexy. To me, that's hot. And so, there's that. And then there's the spanking and the being tied up, which is new to me, but, really interesting. And again, none of these things are, I would say, changing my life. Like, I haven't found something where it's like, okay, that's my new thing. Like, I can only get off if I do that. I'm just finding that I'm liking all of it. It's all a big fucking turn on. It gets me hot. It gets me wet. I want to do it. I want to do it and enjoy it. And the more I uncover that I enjoy, the more that's new, the more I'm like, fuck. I mean, like, am I opening Pandora's box? What, again, I'm not any closer to understanding or answering who the fuck I'm going to be at the end of this. And the truth is, it makes me a little nervous because I do have, a couple, vanilla relationships. I don't know that I don't know that I can live the rest of my life after this. After this is all over, I don't know that I can live or be in that type of a dynamic. I'm going to need somebody who's um, open-minded or if it is a vanilla relationship, someone that's going to let me go outside of the relationship to just when I'm having these urges or little fantasies and I need to kind of fulfill that to get that done. So what I have been sort of uncovering is, or that I'm becoming more clear on is, I think and I don't know that this is the truth yet, but it appears to me that having one person fulfill that role is going to be hard. Because I still do I'm still okay with vanilla. There's a new guy and I've got to get him up there. I've started to type out his blog post several times and I've kind of worked on it and it's been a few weeks and I just need to get it up there, but I'm calling him BE, which is short for the boyfriend experience. And what was interesting is when I went and, met with him, first of all, unbelievable. Like, the first time I had dinner with him, I was just like, this is an amazing man, an incredible human being. And then when the second time when we got together, went out and, had sex, it's just, what? It truly is the boyfriend experience. Being with him it's, you're with a gentleman. It's someone who's opening doors and he's of just a few years older than me, somebody that I can totally relate to. He has an interesting backstory, very interesting backstory, and he's fucking hot and sexy as hell. And, I left that encounter going, I've forgotten about this. Nobody's checked that box. I've got, this guy who checks that box and this guy who checks that box and this guy who nobody's checked off the, that dynamic that you have when you're in a relationship with somebody, the boyfriend experience, that feeling, that just, that comfort level, that, familiar, scenario that, when you find somebody that's truly interesting, that you're like, yeah, I mean, I could spend days with this guy, like not be like, oh God, okay, I gotta go now. Now, I mean, he's just, I find him very, very interesting, and I like spending time with him. So, as well as having that, sexual attraction. So it's very fun and it's new and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully I hope we get together later on this week, but um, we'll see how that evolves, but it's kind of interesting. So on that note, I was really like looking at, okay, you know, if I had to sort of label everybody, like what their sort of type is, if you got the BDSM guy, if you got the boyfriend experience guy, if you got the swinger guy, just like all these different personality types, and all of that coming together is very satisfactory. Now, what if, one of those guys was gone? If you look at it sort of like a quadrant, make like a quadrant there on, imagine that in your mind, like boom, 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 boom. You have 4 quadrants and everybody's filling those spaces. And then if somebody's out of that, then it gets a little lopsided. And so I'm just like, this is what I'm sort of starting to figure out. It's like, I need somebody that sort of fills all these boxes. I mean, obviously you can live without them for sure. But after this, am I going to want to? Like, where will I land on all of this? So this is still my big burning question. These are just the stupid, weird, crazy, thoughts that go through my mind. And I'm wondering, like I said, sometimes I wonder, like, have I really just done myself a big disservice, by doing, having this year and these goals? Because certainly this, for me at this point, this is not sustainable over the long haul. Like, I cannot be doing this, putting this much energy into, meeting people, having sex, getting laid, blah, blah, blah. It's too much work. I am in some ways, there's a part of me that's looking forward to this year being over. So, I can just close that chapter and be like, okay, I did it. Here's what I did. I accomplished it. Check, check, check. But then, what then? What next? Where do I go from there? So I don't know. I don't know what, that's a big question mark. And maybe at that point I won't give a shit. Maybe I'll just be like, God, I'm burnt out. I need some downtime. Maybe I'll be hitting another down cycle. If it goes every 90 days, I will. And closing that chapter won't be hard to do and it'll be nice. I suspect that, whoever I'm still seeing at that point, I would still continue to see. And then, if you go with my friend's theory, eventually they'll fade away too, and then, and then I don't know, I'll be back to square one, kind of when I started. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at right now. The other thing is I've definitely identified a few other things I'd like to put on my bucket list. And these, I just, they were kind of lingering out there before, but I didn't really say, yes, I'm going to put these on. But now I'm like, yes, I want to add to the bucket list. So 2 more things. First of all, I really want to give a guy, I want to learn and understand how to give a guy a prostate orgasm. I have some gay friends. I should just ask them, like, what do you fucking do? Somebody coach me here. I hear they're very pleasurable, and the guys that have them really like them. And I'd love to be able to do that for my partner. I think it's hot. Hey, and, I mean, why not? It's like their G spot. So, I just don't know, again, as not surprising as I didn't even know, like, about my own body and squirting, and I still can't do it to myself. I'm a little out of my element here with the prostate thing, but I'm definitely willing to learn. I'm like, let me at it. I want to get in there and, make it happen. So that's on the list now. I've got to do that. And you know what? This year, at some point, I want some international sex. I get a lot of guys that contact me from all over the world. and I swear to God, because I'm just an adventurer. I will go. I'm a yes person. Somebody says, "Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that?" I'm like, yes, 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 yes. If it's an adventure, yes, I'm down. And I'm wanting to have international sex. Like, I've got to have sex in another country with, someone that lives there. So that doesn't mean flying out with somebody and then having sex in another country. I've done that. I'm saying, like, meeting somebody, going, to France and screwing some French guy and checking that off my list. Obviously, it's going to be a one-off, but yeah, I want to add that to the list. I think that would be fun to do, and why not? So that's pretty much the update. The I'm not going to go through the guys again. Who's still on there. Um, there's several that are still hanging in there, and some guys from the very beginning, and that's great. And those guys I really like. I would say I have formed a genuine friendship with, so that's cool. Um, Again, I do get very lucky. I meet a lot of really interesting guys. Really, I mean, just yeah, interesting guys. I mean, for the most part, I'm 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 lucky. I'm lucky that way. And of course, there's everything in between that. Um, then so here's what I thought I would do that would be funny. And this is not meant to be disrespectful in any way, but I do get a lot of emails because I'm online, and um, I'm on an online adult site, and that generates a lot of the prospects. And but I'll tell you what, I've always wanted to do this. I'm just like, I hadn't logged in a while because like I said, I was taking some time off. I was on a down cycle. I think it's been a couple weeks. I just like, ugh, don't even want to go on there. And I get on there and there's 39 messages in my inbox. I'm like, oh, fuck. And that's just not even being on there. That's not even being logged in. So I'm like, okay, I had to clear this out. By the way, I'll put this out there for the girls. A lot of these online sites, they're way they're so skewed towards women. So I mean, I feel bad for the guys. There's the ratio of guys to girls it's incredibly skewed in my favor as a woman. So ladies, if you want to, I would say get online. I mean, go to a site that promotes, hookups, and get on there and just give it a whirl. Because it's probably going to help, definitely will help you, as opposed to trying to do it the old fashioned way, which I still do that the old fashioned way. I mean, I'm very good at if you're in Starbucks and I think you're cute, if I see you out and I think you're cute, I'll find a way to talk to you. But anyway, so I thought I'd read some funny little, like, I'm just gonna open up the inbox here and I'm gonna read some of the like one-liners, like the first thing that they say. It's it's a crack up, and I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't get it personally. I wonder if the guys realize that they're trying to attract a woman. Like, do you know what women like? That's all I'll say. Okay. So let's see. Here's one. Okay, we deserve a date. All right. There's one. I would meeting I this is a thing, punctuation and grammar. Just check your shit before you hit the send button. That's all I'm saying. I would meeting you for a nice and getting to know each other. That's the first sentence. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Hello, beauty. Fine. I mean, like, is English? Oh, English is this guy. Actually, English is this guy. He's from France. Okay. Me. Oh, and then this. I don't know. I have no idea what this means. Me too. Let's fuck with passion. That's the first line there. Oh, would you sell your panties? No. Well, they're expensive, so yeah. I mean, if I can double my money, I'd say yes. There we go. There's the answer to that one. You are sexy. Oh, and here we go. Another one. I'm 6'1". Yum. You are delish looking. I'd like to feed on your face, on your beautiful face. Okay, well, I don't want my face fed on. No. And then I'll get some like, hi stranger, how was your weekend? I don't know who that is. Oh, yes. Yes, we are. Yes, I am a stranger, and we're still we're still strange. You're still strange to me, and I'm strange to you. Um, Great body, interested in younger. Well, now this guy's 25. Damn, he is cute too, but no, 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 no. That is not going to happen. You know, Cowboy N is 29 and he won't be 30, unfortunately, towards the end of the year, till actually after I'm done with this. But I just don't want any more guys in their 20s. I mean, 30s is fine. Young 30s, fine. Oh, excuse me. But no, I do not no. I mean, as cute as this guy is, and believe me, woo, what a body. He's got a body. But no, too young. Tall, masculine guy here, 34 years old. All right. That might have some potential. Oh, here's one. Will tramway you so well? Will tramway you so well? What does that mean? Will tramway you so well? Does that mean like a bunch of trannies are going to three-way me? What's a tramway? I don't know. He's 21 too. No, no, no. Too young. Anyway, what I should do and what I thought would be funny to do, and I never got around to it, was just actually saving some of the funniest one-liners that I get, because it is interesting. And I'm not trying to make fun, it's like, I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful to anybody. I understand that, I'm sure when they're sending these messages, they're like, okay, what the fuck do I say? But I would say checking your punctuation and your spelling would just be kind of elementary, and you should do that, because if you're sending it to someone like me, I'm gonna be like, oh shit. And not that I don't make punctuation and spelling mistakes. Look, I know I do. You do it on the blog, trust me, but it's not this horrific. And I'm not trying to pick someone up, so there's my excuse. I don't know what theirs is. Anyway, there you have it. So again, thanks for listening. And as usual, if you have questions or comments, you can send them to thecuriousgirl@thecuriousgirldiaries.com. And I always appreciate the stuff you send in. It's good to get the feedback. I have been getting more and more feedback. I love it. Thank you so much. People are enjoying the blog. They're getting turned on by it. I love hearing, everyone tells me like who their favorite is. What their favorite story is or who they relate to the most. It's always interesting. I like to see what certain guys are drawn to. So, and women as well. So I think, again, just keep the feedback coming, and I'll do my best to keep, having interesting encounters and putting it out there. All right. Thanks everyone. Bye.